It's Ridge Racer on the PlayStation, or as the Japanese would say, it's released in Japan in 2 weeks. It is a next generation console, and Ridge Racer is the game that proves it. Ridge Racer, one of the most popular arcade games ever, spearheads Sony's entry into the video console market.
3 laps to go.
All the cars are there, as is that well-known Ridge Racer track, along with its expert driver's extension. Skeptics doubted that Namco could convert the System 22 technology of the original game onto a console, but they've been proved wrong. The PlayStation version is practically arcade perfect, and as you can see, it's rather nippy. This isn't a 4,000 quid arcade coin-op, but a £200 console, with Ridge Racer expected to retail at around £30. We'll have to wait until summer '95 before we can get our hands on it officially, but as the Mega Drive and Super Nintendo edge into retirement, we at GamesMaster have ordered a bumper box of pants because we are wetting ourselves in anticipation.
Yeah! It's a new record!
Right, I'm off now to put Reliant Robins at the front of traffic jams, and we'll see you in the next show. Bye-bye.
GamesMaster, the official book, price £6.
Third, to negotiate a rather bendy road. Fourth, to wind their way between some traffic cones. And finally, to stop precisely within the exit box. Gentlemen, start your engines.
So, with brain firmly in neutral, let's meet our challengers. They are Ricky Nguyen, Mervyn Chong and Tom Homer. Right, now Ricky, we asked you before the show which video game character you fancied. You said none because you have a girlfriend. What's your girlfriend like?
Good looking and attractive.
Really? And what's her name?
Emma.
Would you like to say hello to her?
Hi.
I bet she's really impressed now with that one, actually, Ricky. I think you'll have a long and fruitful relationship now. Mervyn, what's this on your jacket?
Ecstasy.
I bet you think you're really hard because you've got that on, don't you? All right, thank you, Mervyn. Tom, how are you doing?
All right.
Now, Tom, you also said you're quite into music as well. What sort of bands do you like?
I'm in the Nirvana.
Nirvana. Can you sing at all, Tom?
No, not really.
Because they're looking for a lead singer now, aren't they? Nirvana, you never know. You might get a chance. Okay, while our three challengers prepare to play their games, we'll catch up with the headlines in this week's news. First up, licensed news. Star Wars programmers JVC are busy beavering away on a video game version of the soon-to-be-released movie based on Dark Horse comic Time Cop. In a departure from previous roles, Jean-Claude Van Damme fights people.
My future, you're dead.
We'll get him!
He goes back in time to retrieve the plot by wiping out a nasty president of the future. The game is out in March.
I come from the net, through systems, peoples, and cities, to this place.
This is Mainframe, setting for the first 100% computer-generated TV series. Reboot stars Bob, Guardian of the Mainframe, his mates the Data Sprites, and official nasty bloke Megabyte.
All I ask is a simple favor, and you put us through all this.
The 13-episode series has been 3 years and thousands of computer hours in the making. Those weird blue and green blokes and birds will be on ITV after Christmas, though I reckon the one-handed George and Zippy from Rainbow would have these guys in a fight.
Reboot!
Sega's new console, the Saturn, is released today in Tokyo, but when some bloke in a pub said he'd seen one in Chingford yesterday, we sent the boys round to investigate. We met Simon Leung, who runs an import-export business, like most blokes.
On Thursday we had our Saturns in Hong Kong. On Friday I had them shipped out to me to Heathrow, and Saturday morning at 5 AM I picked them up, and by lunchtime I sold my first Saturn.
An import machine with Virtua Fighters from Simon costs 570 notes. The official one will cost 300 quid, but it's not due till August 1995. We're almost ready for the Power Drive Challenge. All that remains is for me to introduce my backseat driver for the trip, and it's Steve Merritt from Me Machines. Welcome, Steve.
Hi, Don.
Steve, now what's your favourite part of a car?
Well, I've got perfect clutch control, so I think I'll opt for that.
No, I thought you maybe be a spigot man.
No, definitely a clutch man.
No, interesting. About the challenge now, Steve, what's the toughest part of the course?
It's the second to last bit. There's this spiral of cones, and you've got to manoeuvre the car through without actually hitting any. For every cone you hit costs you valuable time. And as you've only got a minute anyway, you can't afford to do that.
That's right. Each contestant has 1 minute in which to complete the course. The contestant who finishes it in the quickest time will win the joystick. Ricky's going first. Ricky, if you are ready, then off you go. Okay, off goes Ricky. You can see the time in the top left-hand corner of the screen. What's this first obstacle?
The first part, he's got to brake with a set of wheels either side of that line, which he's already done. He's done it in very good time.
Very quickly.
Next, he's got to reverse the car into a rectangle on the right, but he seems to be going the wrong way.
Oh dear.
Not a good move.
Now he's doing it.
I think BSM should be told. Oh, terrible.
He's hit the tyres.
Oh,
That's
dear,
absolutely terrible. Oh, what's he doing now?
no.
He's all over the shot. He's got 20 seconds, 40 seconds left.
I think I recognise my nan's driving there.
Oh dear, this is terrible. He's in there now.
The flag's gonna, yep, the flag's up. He's now got to negotiate a really winding road. This is another easy bit, but after this lies the cones.
Wibbly wobbly bits ahoy, Steve.
Indeed, indeed, and appallingly
Now we've got a
negotiated.
whirly.
Here come the cones.
Now everyone he knocks over, he gets seconds added on.
Yep. He's really
only got
stuffed
10
this
seconds
up.
left. Steve, this isn't going to happen, is it?
No, I'm afraid not.
Oh, it's
dear.
gone. He got to the cones, but that was all. Ricky, please make way for my little favourite, Mervyn, now. Okay, Mervyn, when you're ready, start your challenge. Okay, off goes Mervyn. Time again, the top left-hand corner. Here comes the first obstacle. Let's see what it does,
Perfect
Steve.
break.
Brilliant, wasn't it?
Absolutely perfect.
Okay, next one, Steve, is the...
It's the reverse, Dominic. He's got to make it into this tiny square, which is
stopped.
slightly bigger. Yep, I think he belongs to the Stevie Wonder School of Driving now.
I think so, but
The flag's
he's
up.
done that. 15 seconds gone. He's ahead of Ricky on the split times. Now, wiggly wobblies.
Indeed. Not too good at the old cornering, I'm afraid.
And now finally the
Now for
curly
the
one.
cones.
He's got 35 seconds left though, Steve. Can he do it?
It'll be tight. He's got to go faster than this, though. I mean, he's practically in reverse. He has to speed up a little bit. As soon as he touches that X in the middle, all the cones
He's
disappear.
doing all right. He's nearly done it. 25 seconds
No,
left.
he's
Oh, no, he's
blown it.
blown it. Oh, dear. And that's it. It was so close, but Mervyn fails also. Mervyn, make way for Tom. Okay, Tom, if you do it in under a minute, then you have won. Best of luck. Start your challenge now. Okay, off goes Tom.
Oh, he missed it.
Oh, he's wasted some time there, Steve.
Not as good as Swerving Mervyn at that.
No, certainly wasn't. Now we've got the reverse here. Oh, nice positioning.
Absolutely. A bit far out, though. It's costing him time.
And the yellow car, I know, Steve.
Yep, indeed. It's something from the Italian job, I think.
Okay, 17 seconds. This is a good time. He's
Very
fast.
good time. Now it's a bit... Oh,
The
dear.
wiggly wobbly's like smacked at the side a bit. But your car doesn't take any damage, does it?
No, it doesn't. It just slows you down. You
Okay,
can do about
now
it.
the cones. He's got 30 seconds
Oh.
to set a couple. 25 seconds left. Now he's going to
He
take
has
it
to hit
slowly.
that X. As soon as he hits that X, all the cones
43.
disappear.
I think he's going to do it, Steve.
Oh, he's
no, he doesn't do it either. Oh dear, Tom finishes in complete disarray as well, which means nobody did the challenge. Round of applause for them anyway. Bad luck, Ricky. Bad luck, Mervyn. And bad luck, Tom. Okay, now, you first of all, Ricky. That wasn't terribly good, was it, Ricky?
Nah.
I've got a bit of bad news as well. You remember your girlfriend?
Yeah?
You know she's dumped you now.
Nah.
She has, but there's plenty more fish in the sea, so you can console yourself with a kipper. Ricky, Mervyn, I'm going to leave you just now, gladly. Tom, you did a bit better, but then what happened towards the end?
I just lost it. I lost my nerve.
Yeah. Have you found it yet, or are you still nerveless?
I'm still nervous.
Okay, we'll have a look later on. Tom, finally, Mervyn, now you actually got very, very close, but we're still not going to give you a joystick anyway. Is that okay?
No, I should get it.
Why?
Because I'm the most funniest.
I think you find that's the British Comedy Awards. Actually, that's a different show. So that means that Ricky, Mervyn and Tom, no joystick, so back into the cage. Now, while our challengers argue over who can pull the most birds following their TV appearance, we'll take a look at today's reviews. First up, featuring more snakes than a Freudian dream, it's Pitfall, the Mayan adventure.
Pitfall 2, The Mayan Adventure, is a slick little platform game. It's actually based on an Atari VCS game called Pitfall 1, obviously, which was written 13 years ago. Fortunately for you lot, that's actually hidden inside this game, the complete Atari VCS game, with crap sound and crap graphics.
It's not really taking it any much further than, say, Jungle Book or Lion King. But it's a nice game nonetheless. There's lots to interact with, lots of nice weapons to use. You can use your boomerang or your slingshot with pebbles. And there's some nice ways that they integrate you with the landscape.
If Earthworm Jim was the king of the jungle, then Pitfall would be a scrag-tag little puppy dog begging for food on a cold winter's night. However, Pitfall was the original platform game, so I suppose Earthworm Jim should just be a little bit humble there.
Next, cynically smack into Damon Hill and pretend it was an accident in Virtua Racing Deluxe.
Everything about the game has been improved, not just the graphics, which are now much more colourful, but also the polygons, which are more rounded, the speed, which is much smoother and faster, and also the sound. It's so much more bolstered up and you really feel like you're in the heat of a race rather than just the sort of whiny noise that the Mega Drive made you in Virtua Racing.
Virtua Racing on the Mega Drive and in the arcades only had the one car, the Virtua Formula, but you can now get two different types of cars. The first is the stock car that can take a lot of damage and is very Daytona-like, and the second is the prototype car that is very high speed but hasn't got a lot of grip. Basically, this is a lot better than the Mega Drive version that appeared earlier this year, and it's a worthy buy if you're going to get a 32X.
Mega 32X is really showing what it can do here, and this is a fast playable racing game. And with split screen mode, it's fantastic fun for two players as well.
Finally, while we await the brilliant Ridge Racer, let's spend some time on the Duff Mansell IndyCar.
Newman-Haas IndyCar Challenge featuring Nigel Mansell. Newman-Haas IndyCar Challenge featuring rubbish graphics and terrible gameplay, more like. This is awful. I mean, it's a stinker.
Mansell's IndyCar on the SNES is basically the same game as Mansell's World Championship that appeared last year. It uses the same game engine and basically you only have some new tracks. If you've already got the first game, then you're not going to get much fun out of this.
These days, to have a successful racing game, it really needs to be full polygonized 3D, like, of course, Virtua Racing on the Mega 32X, or indeed Stunt Race Effects on the SNES. As it is, Nigel Mansell's is very flat in comparison, using sprites instead of the 3D routines. And although it's colourful and fast, it doesn't match up to the more powerful machines.
Tonight's two special guests are busy picking the poo from the grooves in their boots, so let's go over to GamesMaster and find out what they'll be playing.
The second challenge of the proceedings is on the bizarre Super Nintendo beat-em-up Clay Fighter 2. As usual, players have 3 rounds to reduce their opponents to a pile of formless putty. Good luck.
So, please welcome two of the more aesthetic members of the Emmerdale cast, Ian Kelsey and Camilla Power. Welcome, Ian. All right, Camilla, welcome to the show. Right, Ian, first of all, why is it that there's so many fit birds and blokes on Emmerdale now?
Birds and blokes?
Birds and blokes.
Right. Well, I think there's quite hot, steamy scenes going to be in it. And has been in it.
Do you think that generally you guys are more attractive than like your neighbours' home and away counterparts?
Without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah, you think so?
I think so.
That's good. I thought so as well. Now, Camilla, what's your favourite disaster from Emmerdale?
Probably the rave, because it was sort of a bit of a disaster for us, because we started filming and it rained so badly that we had to come and shoot it back after our holiday, and we all sort of had, half of it we had suntans, and the other half we were all sort of pale and pasty.
And that's worse than the plane falling on people's heads.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And people being held up in gun sieges and that.
Oh, indeed,
oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, you get wet then.
OK, while we discuss the plummeting real estate prices in the Emmerdale area, we'll take a quick break. Welcome back. We have two of the finest members of the Emmerdale Brat Pack, Ian Kelsey and Camilla Power, with us about to do the do on Clay Fighter 2. With me, I have a very patriotic-looking Dave Perry, actually.
Absolutely.
Tonight.
Absolutely.
Dave, who pushes your buttons, the Emmerdale girls or their Australian soap counterparts?
I'd have to say the Aussie girls. I'm sorry, but I'd find it a bit hard to be romantic with anybody with cow manure under their fingernails.
All right, thank you, Dave. I know romantic at heart. Dave, tell us, what's the strengths and weaknesses of the characters we're going to see?
Well, Camilla's going to be playing as Gugu, who's a large, bad baby, and she has a big rattle, which is very useful for long-range attacks. It's hard to get close to her. But Ian will be playing as Kangaroo, and he has a dashing punch. He's very fast, and she races in and really thwacks her opponent.
OK, best of luck, Camilla and Ian. Let the fight begin.
Gugu.
OK, Camilla is playing Gugu, who's the baby on the left. Ian is playing Kangaroo, who's the kangaroo on the right. You can see the energy bars at the top of the screen. And it's Ian making the early running, Dave.
Well, Ian seems to have worked out some of the special moves. He's got the multiple punch move there, flailing his arms about. There you go, and that's very hard to get close to. But of course, Gugu's got the perfect answer because she can just stretch her rattle out.
OK, at the moment it's still Camilla as Gugu, whose energy is low. Nice little move on the stick there on the rattle.
That's very nice. Gugu can balance herself on the rattle and do a kind of a flying kick.
Camilla's still getting a bit of a hammer.
As she says, Gugu's stunned. Kangaroo should be going in, should be backing off. That was a perfect opportunity for the dashing punch.
Well, that was a nice little bit of thing.
Gugu threw her milk bottle at Kangaroo, hit her square in the face, but she wants to be careful.
It's a bit of a comeback here.
It's a bit of a comeback, but it's only going to take one hit.
But Ian takes the first bout, 1-0 to Ian. Now we move on to bout number 2. Camilla has to win this bout to stay in the fight. Off they go.
Ian was pulling back there, not much was happening. He was trying to launch into his dashing punch, which is just a charge away, forwards and punch move. A bit like Balrog in the Street Fighter games.
OK, Ian, I would like to pick a winner here, Dave.
I wouldn't, it's very, very close. Ian is using this flailing sort of 1,000-hand attack, but Gugu's just walking into it. She wants to be careful. Gugu wants to be careful. There's no point in him walking into that because it's just going to hurt.
Oh, exactly. Dave, keep us posted on the game. I'm just going to look at Camilla.
OK, so Kangaroo's going in with his 100-hand attacks, 1,000-hand attacks, whatever, and he's doing some serious damage. Gugu's going in now with the high kicks, trying to get back into it, but it's not going to happen. Oh, rattles on the chin, that'll do it, but no! There's the Joey.
The winner is Ian.
Well done, Ian.
Bad luck, Camilla. Well, Ian, you were looking pretty furious in there. What was some of your...
Watching Saturday morning television feels, but instead of just sitting there sort of like little zombies, they'd actually be...
Stuff me down, especially with a little tail flick as well.
It certainly did. I was watching that. Your defeat, it wasn't very...
I mean, I actually, I really like Ian, and I thought, well, it wouldn't be fair for him to be shown up by a girl on telly, so basically, I let him win.
And we believe that, don't we?
Of course you do.
Oh, sorry, five of us believe you. Anyway, well, that means that tonight's winner of the special celebrity GamesMaster Golden Joystick, Ian Kelsey. Let's have another round of applause for our special guest, Ian Kelsey, Camilla Power. All around the country, gamers' lives have stopped just like that. Let's lubricate their limbs once more in the consultation zone.
Tonight, I am conducting an experiment to find the saddest human beings in the country. Any volunteers?
GamesMaster, does plugging Sonic 1 into Sonic & Knuckles give me any extra features?
You mean, is it backwards compatible? Well, it's a little-known fact, but it is. Plug Sonic 1 into Sonic & Knuckles, and when presented with the No Way message, press the A, B, and C buttons together. This will allow you to play a hidden 3D bonus game with an infinite number of levels. Try repeating this trick with some of your non-Sonic games.
Thank you, GamesMaster.
Next.
GamesMaster, how do I get one of the really powerful weapons on Doom 2 on my PC?
Well, you could collect them, as everybody else does, but if you're really impatient, you could type this code while playing the game. IDKFA. This will give you all the weapons, including the grisly chainsaw, but I don't think we should be playing with that.
Thank you.
Let's have a good, wholesome one.
GamesMaster, I've had Donkey Kong Country for 4 hours and I've got to the orangutan level.
Can you tell me where the bonus is?
Not finished the game yet. Tut, tut, tut. Well, the trick on this level of jungle japery is to collect espresso and return to the start of the level, to the ledge that had the Donkey Kong barrel on it. Fly to the left and you'll enter the bonus area, full of flying letters, on which, surprise, surprise, must be collected in order. Very taxing.
Ah, thanks, GamesMaster.
Well, that's it. My experiment is over. I shall leave you to draw your own conclusions. See you soon.
The latest game to occupy the joypads of hapless Mega CD owners is Supreme Warrior, a martial arts beat-em-up featuring the kind of live-action full-motion video that makes the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers look like Kozlowski's Three Colours Red. Using first-person Legends of the Ring style play, you've got to slog your way past various martial arts adversaries to find a magical mask.
Action!
If all this looks a bit like those kung fu films churned out by the bucket load from Hong Kong, that's because the full motion video for the game was shot in Hong Kong using the same techniques of wires and cables that have made Hong Kong the capital of the wildly improbable fight sequence.